Aloha, it's Keegan, and I'm just waiting to go live on all the platforms. Should be just 1 second, and then I'll share my message. Here we go. Wonderful. So it's May 21st, and I'm in Montenegro, and it's Independence Day here. They're celebrating today independence from Serbia, which was reached in 2006 by a vote of 55% of people in Montenegro saying we want independence. So quite a few people, I guess, voted against that, but the 55% said let's go, and so they've been independent since then. It was it 1989? Yugoslavia came apart. I think that's when it was. Let me just check that. They had a lot of different influences. There were the Ottoman Turks here in the past, the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They've had connections with Russia over the years. And yeah, they were part of the Soviet Socialist Federation Republic of Yugoslavia until that collapsed in 1989. Like I said, then in the 17 years until 2006 was a part of Serbia. And then they said, let's be independent. And who can blame them? Independence is a beautiful thing. I'm excited. I'll be hosting just after Independence Day in the United States. I'll be hosting a online gathering that's called the Aquarian Renaissance Indigenous Revival. So you can also look forward to that. It's going to be a free 5-day online summit with some really interesting speakers, people from indigenous backgrounds of different places around the world, and some visionary thinkers, because we are bringing back the old and bringing in the new. As they say, the ancient futures is where the solutions are found. In ancient futures, our way forward is also a way back, and it's a circular, spiraling, cosmic reality. And so what I want to share today is some big picture kind of spiritual context that should really put things into perspective and help you navigate your life from a more joyful and appreciative point of view. So I wrote a newsletter. I write a weekly newsletter, and it's been titled Aquarian Renaissance each week, because I'm doing a free weekly gathering. That's today. Every Wednesday is the Aquarian Renaissance Roundtable, and I'm happy to be hosting that for more than 3 months now. I think it'll be the 13th official one, or I might have lost some count in the middle, but it's over 3 months since I started doing this free weekly gathering, and it's on a Zoom call. And at first I was broadcasting them live to YouTube, so you can check them out on my YouTube channel here, Law of the Earth. If you're just watching on Facebook or Instagram, I have the Law of the Earth YouTube channel, also on Telegram. And that is called that because of us. We are the law of the earth. Our relationship between one another, between us and the other beings, the natural environment, and also the artificial environment. Everything is conscious, and everything is co-creating together. And we have a very special role in that as thinkers, strategists, designers, not automatons. We have our own unique brilliance. And so this roundtable that I'm doing every week is with the intention to encourage that brilliance, to encourage your unique truth to be shared, for you to step into your ability to connect with that, to your ability to express it, and to value yourself, to speak that truth, and to know that we are moving forward into cooperative leadership, into a new paradigm of councils, bringing back the ancient future ways of gathering in councils to reason with each other, to feel each other's energy, and to effectively live as one through having good communication. So that's what I'm doing. It's free weekly gatherings. I welcome you to be on the one today. You can write me a message and I'll send you the Zoom link, or leave a comment and I'll have a look there to see who is interested to be part of this community of people who are sharing their voice, activating their power, sharing their story. And really, it's a transformation of identity. And that's the perspective that I'm going to share now. It's going to help you if you take it and integrate it. I mentioned my newsletter, so I wrote about this perspective and I want to share it here on the video. I read a book that's called The Cosmic Serpent recently, which was recommended to me by a teacher of mine, Jocelyn Starfeather. And this book talks about shamanic experience. It talks about the author's experience in ayahuasca tradition and that psychoactive plant, that combination of plants, magical brew that allowed the author to have a visionary, transcendent experience and see this, like many people see when they try ayahuasca, is this fiery serpent, or this energized serpent. And he went on and did a lot of research and looked into science behind and the lore and the science behind this vision, this manifestation that is recurring motif, right, in the psychedelic experience that a lot of people have been going and having, and increasingly more and more people in recent years. And basically, this cosmic serpent, the namesake of the book, is our DNA. And it's not just our DNA, but it's a blueprint for life to evolve. It's a sacred geometrical, energetic, resonant unfolding and patterns of manifestation of spirit taking form in the matter. And he talks about what life is really. And this is the real kicker here, because we're on Earth and we're so kind of enmeshed in our experience here of what we consider normal, and that everything that we know based on our accumulated experience with during one lifetime, and there's a small percentage of us who have memories beyond one lifetime. And bringing back the Aquarian Renaissance, right, the rebirth of ancient connection allowed us to have more kind of this transpersonal, generational memories coming up, or just information, when we're able to communicate with the resonant fields of our species consciousness, of our family line, of our genetic inheritance, and the genetic I don't know, like calling that also our future generations are projecting into reality, because we're not just moving through time in one direction. We are, like I said, we're going in multidimensional expansion and contraction, creation, destruction, birth, and death, which is really just continual transformation of life. Because life is everywhere, it is throughout the cosmos. And this really transformational perspective from this book that I want to share with you here is that the majority of life in the universe is actually found in plasma clouds. These streams of energy that have been observed and named after this scientist who first observed them, or in modern times first observed them. That was Birkeland. So they're called Birkeland currents. And you see these streams of energy that are flowing through the universe, following like the electromagnetic fields, and they're plasma clouds. And yeah, I recommend checking out the book for all the details. But basically, the author's conclusion and running theory is that these clouds are life forms, that they're intelligent. He goes into ball lightning and all the evidence that we've seen of people's experiences, that these ball lightning beings are intelligent and they are interacting with us and with the environment in intentional ways. It's a very interesting kind of rabbit hole to go into, to ball lightning, but that's plasma. And these Birkeland currents are plasma in the universe. And most of the matter in the universe is taking that form, that we call the fourth state. It's actually very rare in the universe to find this rocky planet with dense matter that we experience as normal. Right? And so this is the if you just kind of step back and think about that for a second, it's like, wow, we're having this experience on Earth that's super rare to have, to find within all the vast expanse of space, this minuscule amount of this hard physical material, water, solid, liquid, and gas. There's a lot of gaseous planets, and but even the planets, compared to what's in space itself, and the stars, are a small amount of matter, tiny. So it's a very rare and special privilege to actually be incarnated, of all the possibility that's out there, for us to actually take on these physical bodies in this dense environment. It's here we think it's the mundane, but if you kind of are able to extrapolate yourself out of this our current version of mundane, and realize that for most consciousness in reality, in the big picture, the mundane is actually outer space. And to come into a realm like the Earth realm that we are experiencing is such a rare and special opportunity. And so I hope that brings some appreciation to your day, to your life going forward, that you stop and realize that, wow, I'm actually super blessed to be on this Earth trip, to be born in a physical body, to be able to experience physical senses and taste food and smell the way we do, and to touch and to see. And that's another whole trip about seeing how that actually works, because our reality around us is brought into, like, we each have our own worlds, right? And there's no, in my view, objective reality is not really a true thing, because objective reality, that would require having every perspective from every being that's creating, because we are all perceiving in a unique way. And reality is like what we perceive. Our worlds are what we create, what we expect them to be. We literally create what we are looking to see. And that for us becomes real until it transforms, and then we have a new reality. And this is always happening. And I think people are in denial about how much it's constantly happening, that our concepts and therefore our creations, because our concepts give rise to our creations. The experience that we're living through is a product of the structure of our belief system, basically, of the agreements that we have with our like our story, our narrative, our conceptual, our identity. That's fundamental. And so if we can kind of step back for a minute and unwind our identity from the the morass of stories uh, that we have about, I'm a son or a daughter, I'm a mother or a father, I'm a doctor, I'm a winner, I'm a loser, I'm a baker, I'm a dog walker, whatever it is that you're identifying as. That's just a role you can pick up and put down, and the same goes for the body, for the relationship that you find yourself in. Who you truly are is a spirit, and you come from the place which we all come from, that source of spirits, the Great Spirit. And you can call it whatever you choose, and it's a universal source of life, a source of creation, and we find it within ourselves, and we find it within everything. And so part of the spiritual journey of awakening is to find it within ourselves, to find it, as they call it, the higher principle. But it's also lower, and it's also deeper and wider. It's just something that that we find within, really. That's where we can really touch and feel and know spirit, is through our inner experience, the expansive reality, because what is within is what's without. And that's what Jeremy Narby, who is the author of The Cosmic Serpent, realized when he found out, like, these visions that people have been having, shamans have been having for many, thousands of years. They actually correspond to what scientists are seeing as these molecular organisms, and the DNA, and our blueprint for life. Another interesting thing he talks about is how the DNA is almost completely the same in all the biology on Earth. There's only a tiny bit of variance that gives rise to all the different forms of biology, but as a foundation, the DNA is mostly the same. And so it's a life, it's a life principle, it's a life fundamental that's present in all of the life, and so it's a unifying element. And like I was saying, most of the life in the universe is actually these plasma beings of a whole other scale, that are their home is outer space. And maybe it is that these beings are within us, because that is actually an ancient uh, hermetic principle, one of the laws of reality that's given to us from Hermes, from Thoth, that that's called the principle of correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. So when we're looking out at the beautiful sky, and Birkeland is finding these epic, snake-like currents that are, slithering through the cosmos, and shamans are looking within and giving visionary capacity from the, DMT in their brains, coming from this plant, and we also produce DMT when we're dreaming. It's activating our ability to see the patterns of creation that are inside of us and outside of us, and that actually combined. That's like I'm giving this multi-dimensional perspective of how the way forward for us as a species is also, we have to go back and have a renaissance. We have to reintegrate and reconnect with our ancestral wisdom, our ancestral traditions, which allow us to connect and to operate from this fundamental principle, the DNA, from the connectivity, the unifying patterns of creation that's intelligent. And if we kind of distract ourselves with the cyclical stories and modes of thinking that we have created as a secondary or a third or fourth or fifth levels, removed from and distorted from the foundational beingness, the foundational cosmic intelligence that lives within all of us, there is this diffraction, there is this confusion, and it's a shining. They talk about Lucifer, or the great talk about the great deceiver. In the old scriptures, this is an aspect of us that presents a challenge to overcome. It's like the story of the great cosmic hide and seek of the divine creator and the the beauty that's created. And there's also a story about partnership. The divine masculine and feminine hiding, and they're playing hide and seek. And when we come together, there's this tremendous union and bliss that comes from that remembrance of two parts of a whole that have been separated. And so that's the reason that we have these patterns of confusion and delusion and deep dimension and sickness that is upon the earth, that is this chronic self-destructive tendencies of humanity, something for us to grow through, a challenge for us to navigate, the game of life, for us to transcend the greatest challenge we could think of, to bring that much more appreciation into our reality when we overcome that challenge, this struggle towards victory. And the great hero's journey is the journey that we're all on, and we are all the heroes and sheroes of our lives, and we all have that divine connection that's looking for acknowledgement, and many of us are looking for ways and guides that will help us to reconnect, uh, looking for the wisdom holders. And there's this one of these patterns that we have that's actually a confusion, that's a distraction and a diffraction of our light, and spreading and separating us, is this concept that we have to look outside of ourselves for authority, for the guide. And that's not to say that we won't receive beautiful guidance from a divine reflection, which is, hopefully what I'm offering to you when you check out this video. Uh, but ultimately, each of us has our own truth to be found within and to be shared to enrich the perspective of others, which is why I'm doing this also. And I want to encourage more of that sharing, more of that genius goodness of a perspective, of a revelation that you had, or you are about to have, or you'll have in a week from now, or whenever it is. That's valuable. That's valuable. That's your truth, and it's coming to you for a reason. Like your inspiration, the discovery of learning about this world through learning about your own self and how you are connected, where you come from, the context. I've given you some cosmic context of who we are on a universal level, and we're actually spirits, and we're just residing within physical bodies. These are actually biological spaceships that are holding the passenger, the captain, right? And so this is interesting because I said passenger, but that is one of the the roles that is actually presenting a challenge for us when we think that we are just a passive passenger, and we just try to pass on the exam so that we can be given a certificate, so that we can get a good job. Right? But there's a difference between getting a good job and living a good life. And I'm here to live a good life. I'm here to express my soul's authenticity and to hopefully inspire you to do the same, which is why, I'm sharing now. I've got the YouTube channel I've been doing for the last couple of years, sharing about my adventures. I've been in Europe a lot. Um, I'm originally from California, and I'm originally from outer space, just like all of us, because we are spiritual beings that have no beginning and will never have an end. We're transcendent, multidimensional consciousness that has sent an aspect, an extension of itself, an extension of our true selves into these bodies to be the owners of these bodies, to be the captains of the experience, to bring that universal intelligence through in a unique way, because we all have a unique perspective. Yeah, and so I'm circling back to the main message, which I always do. That we've just got to let our soul shine, let our unique divine perspective come through, be heard, and help others to integrate, right? What resonates. It's a super soul soup of all these different aspects of one universal being coming into form to have a learning experience to share that knowledge so we can all learn from each other. And that's the future of our education, coming back to uh, honoring all voices instead of a bunch of students sitting in a room and listening to one teacher talk. We are all students, we are all teachers, and we have to activate that ability to share. you know uh, there's people have various levels of gifts. Everyone learns in a unique way. We all communicate in a unique way. But the more that we're able to more we're able to kind of uh, have councils, have discussions, uh, and really take the focused attention and presence that's necessary to hear another perspective, and to actually reach within and to vulnerably and authentically share what the learning experience that we're going through. uh, then we can really arrive at a fuller level of living, a fuller level of beauty, um, um, a fuller demonstration of bringing out. They say originally education means bringing out. Right? It's like kind of a nurturing for that unique genius to be revealed, and to be supported. Let it come up, and and I think you get the idea. Hopefully you do. So that is the invitation on today. In just 4 hours is the 13th Aquarian Renaissance Roundtable. So I invite you to participate, and you can send me a message or leave a comment, and I'll share you the link. And I look forward to having a dialogue, having a discussion, and it's ongoing. We can build over time. And it's a slow process, right? And it's a beautiful process. And we may have breakthroughs, and we may have grinding kind of uh, things that don't resonate. And the other important aspect is for us to actually be able to not just tolerate others, but to actually, you know, be curious, and to be willing to listen and take the time to find the things that others have to say which do resonate with us. And if it doesn't, then you had the opportunity. uh, and the same is true, you know in reverse. We it would be cruel to deny others their opportunity to hear the wisdom that we have within us if we never speak it, if we never have a moment to share, if we don't think it's valuable. But it is, every bit. It's a beautiful, valuable perspective that you have. There's nobody like you. So may your soul shine, your gifts be unveiled, and uh, your truth be revealed. And may we walk into greatness. Lots of love. Hope you guys are having a beautiful time. And happy Independence Day for Montenegro.